Episode 5 ends with a development that should send chills down any hardcore Stephen King fan's spine. It's not enough that our heroes finally visited the house on Neibolt Street this week on the HBO hit, or that we finally got the big Pennywise reveal. No, the real nightmare in this week's episode has to do with Dick Hallorann and what he's been keeping locked up in his lockbox. The 5th episode is now streaming on HBO Max. Episode 5 ends with a defeated Dick Hallorann stumbling out of the sewers. Pennywise has won their first big psychic battle by tapping into the character's deepest, darkest secrets. Dick is mentally transported to his childhood bathroom. He's chained to a bathtub, but his grandmother, the woman who taught Dick about his powers, is trying to help him. She warns him that he's coming for you again. Dick's abusive grandfather then appears with a gun in his waistband and a locked box in his hand. Later, Dick's grandpa taunts him, saying he knows about his wife and grandson's psychic connection. He scoffs at her advice to put all the negative feelings and emotions into the lockbox, noting that power like that should be used. An utterly terrified Dick attempts to resist, but his grandfather, who's clearly Pennywise in disguise, forces the box open. When Dick finally emerges from the sewers, he not only appears shell-shocked, but can see a zombie version of Captain Pauly Russo. Pauly has just died saving Will Hanlon. So what is all this? What was in Dick Hallorann's box? What does this latest development have to do with lore Stephen King introduced in Dr. Sleep, the sequel to The Shining? Let me break down the ending for you. First things first, what exactly is Dick Hallorann's box? Well, it's a concept introduced in Stephen King's Dr. Sleep, in a scene where the older Dick Hallorann teaches young Danny Torrance how to lock all of his negative psychic memories and experiences in a box. Chris Chalk, who plays Dick Hallorann in the show, described it this way. Okay, think of this. If you had the ability to see beyond this reality since you were a wee one and you were told, put it in a box. So imagine all of the things we hate about ourselves, or we hate about the people across us, and we just put it down. We just stuff it. We stuff it. It's really that. Chalk continued. All the terror that he has ever seen, he just slipped it in the box, slipped it in the box, slipped it in the box. So the moment you unleash that, it's not going to come out as gently as Dick put it in, and it's not happy about being shoved in a box. These are not entities that want to be trapped, and so when they can break free, they do, and it changes Dick forever. Opening the box doesn't just change Dick, though. Executive producer and co-showrunner Jason Fuchs said, "The box is very much open, and it's not easy to close." Fuchs explained, "That very last shot you see of Dick seeing dead Pauly in front of him on the bank of the river, that is going to take Dick to some extremely dark places, to a place he's tried to get away from. There's a reason he wanted to keep that box shut. His life by the end of episode 5 has been fully upended in ways that will take him to the breaking point and possibly past in the episodes to come." Rudy Mancuso, who plays Captain Pauly Russo, teased that while we're not going to see much more of his character, even in zombie or spirit form, we are going to continue to see some gnarly stuff emerging from Dick's box. Mancuso said, "I definitely know that we're going to see more. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into that type of, not necessarily Pauly, but the type of entity that he's representing." Mancuso also revealed that it wasn't necessarily hard for him to capture Pauly's eerie energy. "That day was strange because we're fighting against time, as we always do. I had contacts in my eyes, I couldn't see anything, and I was in the woods. It's almost like releasing a rabid animal into the woods," Mancuso said. "I was confused. Equally confused in real life as Pauly was in this supernatural state." Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more.